Have wet underwear become the bane of your existence? As a nurse for 30 years and a care home owner for 10 years, I've dealt with a lot of people who have incontinence. It's not something to be ashamed of, but definitely something to be dealt with, because the last thing that you want are wet underwear all over your room, making your house smell. So what do I recommend for people to do? Today, let's look at all the different options for the person who has lightweight to midweight incontinence problems. So the first line is usually a little panty liner. And this is a great product if you've only got a few drops that happen here and there. This will work. But if you've got more than just a few drops, it's not going to take care of all of your problem. And so then I recommend moving on, because that's not going to work. The next product that I've been playing around with lately are these new incontinence cloth underwear. You can order them on Amazon and other places. And it has a waterproof liner and absorbent material. They come in different weights. This one is just in the crotch area. Other ones actually extend up the back in case you have fecal incontinence also. And I love this for people who have occasional, very occasional incontinence problems. Just probably not real heavy incontinence. Definitely. The downside to it is that you're going to have to be washing them. You wouldn't want to leave these for the whole week smelling up your house. But I do love the concept because it's definitely a more natural feel. You can get them in all cotton like this pair. So better breathability and I think more comfortable. A lot of the people that I've cared for over the years, they really don't like the feel of diapers and pull-ups. And so this would help them maintain that feel of a more natural, what they've lived with their whole life. So my first, for people who really do have some definite incontinence, more than just a little dribble, is to actually go with an incontinent pad. And the great thing about this is that you can slip it into your normal underwear, and when it gets wet, it's easy to pull out and replace. Very discreet, especially when you're out in public. And I think that my new recommendation for people would be to actually buy some of these cloth incontinent underwear and use this pad with it, so that it's just a double protection, because sometimes, you know, as you're moving around, these will slip and not end up in quite the right spot, and then you've got the underwear that might migrate out onto your pants, and that's an embarrassing thing to have happen, and nobody wants that. So that's what I would do to start with. Then the other option is to go with the disposable underwear. And these have come a long ways over the years. You know, 30 years ago when I started out in nursing, you couldn't even get disposable underwear. You had to go with the plastic diapers. And these do work well. I use them very routinely with my patients. And the great thing about them is that you usually don't have problems with it getting outside of them. They've got good gussets, and that's the advantage over the pad. The one big problem with the pad is there's no gusset to hold it in, and so it has a tendency sometimes to come off the edges of the pad. With this, you can help contain it. The downside to this that always bothers me is that in order to change it, you've got to take all your pants off and your shoes off. Now there is a trick that I use that helps with that, but still you're taking clothes off, especially in public. I don't think I would like that very well if I had incontinent problems. So what I do that I like a lot better is I will take the pad that we just talked about and I will actually slip it into this product. I don't use the adhesive to hold it in. I just set it in there because with the adhesive it will rip the disposable underwear, and then you've got to change it anyway, so what was the reason to do that? And I will use it this way so that then when they go to the bathroom, I can go ahead and change the pad easily. But if they have a big overflow, the gussets on this will help contain it, and also it's easy to throw it away and not have the smells. And so that's why I do like this product for people who have pretty consistent incontinent problems. It does come in other colors. This is the men's style, which is great. In theory, they put the extra padding in areas where men have urine end up the most. You can get it in a pink color for women, and they tell me that that has the absorbency where women go have urine end up, or you can go with just the generic white. And they are good. You can buy them at your local store. You can order them online, whichever you find is more convenient. What if that product isn't strong enough? What if you're getting leakage even with that? And then what I do is I move up to a maximum absorbency product, and it's definitely thicker. It also has 2 sets of gussets, so that you've got double protection. And I do like this a lot better for people who have true incontinence. This is for someone who has more than just a couple of dribbles. Don't put this on and just leave it all day to catch all of the dribbles all day long, because then you're going to end up with skin issues. But for someone who has true incontinence, this is definitely the better choice over the cheaper product that you can buy. I order this online. I haven't seen it in stores. But the other reason that I'll use this is at nighttime. And why would I use this over a diaper is that the person is still able to take themselves to the toilet without the assistance of a caregiver. This is a lot easier for them to pull up and down. And so that's why I still use this over a diaper. But then what if this is not enough? Especially at nighttime is an issue. And what I have found is that people who are mostly incontinent during the day but have incontinence issues at night, they don't want to use a diaper at nighttime. And so that's why I would go ahead then and order a nighttime pull-up or disposable underwear. And this is a great product for at nighttime, because the last thing that you as the caregiver or your loved one needs is a wet bed in the morning. That is a terrible, terrible thing to have happen, and you want to be able to have good rest. And that's why I love these nighttime products instead of having to wake people up throughout the night. And you might say, but shouldn't we be changing them every time they get wet? I want to be a best caregiver ever. But I would caution you against that. People need their rest. And for a long time when I started out in nursing, that was the rule of thumb, was to go ahead and change people every 2 hours. But I think that what happens is then they get sleep deficient, and we need to be careful about doing that, because sleep is restorative. So that's why with the people that live with me in my care home, I go ahead and order them the nighttime diapers. And this one's is the underwear style, and it's great for people who still think that they are continent and don't want to have the thought that they're wearing a diaper. But as a caregiver, I've got to give you one piece of warning, is that if your loved one is truly incontinent or incontinent several times a day, and you're having to take off their pants to put on new ones of these, and you're assisting them at the toilet anyway, then I would go ahead and stop the pull-ups and switch to a regular diaper. The convenience of it is so much easier. And if you want more information about how I make caregiving easy and keep my sanity as a full-time caregiver and a registered nurse specialized in geriatrics, then put tips down in the comment section and I will send you my free easy caregiving guide. But if you want more information about diapers and how to keep your bed dry, then check out my other videos, and I look forward to seeing you in those.